We're ready to start the meeting on
This is
Brown and Winter Street sidewalks.
continuation of the public hearing
Oh,
from
it's-
a while ago. We'll try to keep it short. We wanted to just touch upon a couple of issues. One of the issues is 66 Brown Street. So you can see the stake where a potential location for the sidewalk. Kim, the town's right-of-way goes in like 12 feet.
Yeah, no, I know.
In
Yeah.
there. So we're trying to figure out, this is one of the locations, we're trying to figure out what the best location is for the sidewalk. Whether we go inboard of the wall, whether we move the wall, which would be ridiculously expensive, or do we just not do anything to this section, let people walk on it, and then as the trees die or whatever, it gets paved and new street trees get put in. The existing trees are fairly large. They still seem to be in reasonably good shape. We haven't gotten an arborist out.
There's tree roots right at the surface, right in here. And there's only about, from the base of the tree to the wall is only about 5.5
Yeah.
feet or something, so.
So this was kind of one of the challenge areas that we
Yeah, we
wanted.
couldn't dig down to a subsurface to put it.
Yeah,
you
no,
go
I was
through.
here, I was
So
here.
can you do Keystone?
Well, so you can, but there's other issues, like ADA accessibility. I'm not
Right.
sure you wanna
Yeah.
change surfacing
Exactly.
on a municipal sidewalk from asphalt or some smooth surface to pea stone. It kind of opens up another can of worms.
Right.
It would really
That's-
force anyone who happens to be in a wheelchair to have to go out in the street to.
Right,
right.
So if you
Right.
if you stop the walk then before, in the other words, that's not gonna be
Right,
compliant.
it's not. So, but this is one of the challenges here, is what do we do with this?
Well,
They-
yeah, that's
So one potential option would be to put a normal bituminous walk here, knowing that we're probably gonna be compromising this tree and another one that's like it, that's not in the picture, over time. I mean, they're not gonna die immediately, but they're probably gonna be negatively impacted, I would think.
So what I would do is have an arborist look at this and tell us if it's in great health versus if it's compromised. It seems a bit strange to me to plan a crazy,
Over a tree that may be
over a tree that
marginal.
may only last another 5 years.
Right.
Moving a
Right.
wall or putting a sidewalk inside of a wall or,
Right.
if this is on its way out and the surface roots might be an indication of that, maybe plant a successional tree now in anticipation of that and then plan the sidewalk as you would if no tree there existed.
2 trees there.
Right,
Okay.
so I would have somebody look at both of them.
I'm just trying to think if the roots are bad on both of those trees.
Yeah, I
Must be a
think
rock or something.
particularly bad on this one here,
Yeah,
but I
there's
think the
one
other
that's
ones.
really
And
shallow.
Yeah,
that
the
was
other one's
actually an
a little
action item last time, and we did have intentions of getting an arborist, we just haven't got to that.
But if the arborist said that this tree was going to survive for a number of years,
Then,
is moving the wall still an option, or we put that
It's
one?
expensive.
It's
I say just
expensive.
run the sidewalk in.
on the
On-
other
on the
I'd
side.
other
run it on the
side.
other side personally, and
Mhm.
what I would do is, what I would do is, I think,
So you'd have a crosswalk and go to the other side?
no,
No, no,
I'd run on the
no.
other side of the
Oh, on the
wall.
inside?
And what I would do is I would just put some plantings on the other side of
That's
the
what-
walkway to make it look nice.
Yeah, that's what that was suggested a while ago.
And they may not be happy with this, but.
But it's our property,
It's
it's
our
the town
Right,
property.
it's town property.
Yeah,
I mean, this
Yeah.
is a public good.
right, right.
Right, but there may be some place where they could, pay for the moving of the wall. like
They're not gonna
surface
pay
of
for
the wall.
moving the wall.
No,
Right,
and
well,
the
That's
owners,
just-
Right.
the owners
So they may
on the
have a
inside of the
sidewalk
wall
on the
view that it's their front yard.
Right, and they're
Even
not
though the
willing-
town
they're not
owns
wi-
like 12 feet
They're not
in.
willing to have the wall like even moved in a semicircle.
Right.
They didn't
No,
budge
I heard that.
one
I
way or
mean-
the other.
I think it makes sense to consider putting it on the inside of the wall and then just putting some plantings.
But again, if faced with having the sidewalk on their front lawn look, as opposed to moving the wall, they may like retreat to moving the wall.
Well, what
Exactly.
I would say to them, we're gonna put the walk in, you have a choice, and this is it. And their response was neither, but then we'll have to make the decision. And I would put it on the inside of the wall.
Okay.
We're
Anything
gonna
else?
give them
Were there
that
other
as main
concerns
goal.
that would,
Other
Kim, you were looking for
landscape
Kim's
concerns,
input
other
on?
tree concerns?
As it relates to the on-road sort of, on-road or off-road option that we talked about down at the Wellesley Street end. We looked at a number of schemes. You can see in each, they're a little different, but, and they impact different trees. But we've tried to mark the ones that would be,
But then there was also a proposal just to put it along,
yeah,
The
the last,
road.
the last one
Yeah.
would be to just keep it
And I
running.
still think it's safer not to do that, and actually, I met with the police department, and I walked with him, and he agreed that it would probably be safer to put it, I mean, he's not an expert, but he thought it'd be perfectly safe putting it up, going up away from the intersection.
Why would it be safer to do that than to just?
Well, a car's gonna be turning, and cars are turning right there, you put the walk right there, I think think it looks nicer, I think it's safer, I think it's more rural in nature. I think it just adds more to the character of the town too, versus like Church Street.
I totally agree with everything you just said, but I remember that this was brought up, that this is kids crossing this crosswalk. What are
So-
the chances are that they're gonna go up the
Well,
hill
so what I,
or just-
what I,
or
what I,
walk in the road?
what I would propose is just at that point, just to give them a more visual cue, is just putting up a little fence post there along the walkway going up. So kids don't, it just gives them more of an incentive to follow.
Because they will
that.
shortcut it, and they will just be on
I
the road.
don't, personally, I really don't think they will, but I think if you put up a fence post, they definitely will. It's gonna go, first of all, the walk is gonna go right to the crosswalk. So it's actually gonna be longer if they go around. Because the crosswalk is actually, will be where that comes out.
well, and the other thing too
Child
is,
behavior.
Steve and I talked about the fact that there's a number of locations in town where sidewalks are kind of off the path, off the roadway. And it's a matter of taking out a lot of the low brush that's in there so that you can have visibility into where the path is.
But
I guess the proof will be in the pudding.
we're showing this to Kim because.
There's a lot of trees.
The question for Kim is what?
Are there trees being taken down in those scenarios? And how big are they and what?
I haven't
None of
counted,
them are very big.
I haven't counted or measured them or anything. so-
Mainly pine.
They're
And there's
mostly
nothing very
small-
special.
They're very small
It's
board
all
trees.
brushy. Looks like it's
Well,
grown.
I don't think she can render an opinion because
No.
she hasn't taken a
Right.
look
Right.
at
She hasn't,
at
right.
what's been staked out. If anything has been staked out.
It's been staked out, yeah, the center line of that proposed
Yeah.
alignment, so
Okay.
I can show it to you sometime.
There are no major trees
So I think that's gonna be the question.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe next
Some
site
point.
visit, next week, we go
Yeah.
out there and just take a look at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I
In
should
that
say
case,
anything right now.
you're free.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Drive carefully.
Stay warm.
Night-night.
Okay, so that was the second issue. The third issue was the corner of Winter and Brown.
Right, we're really pretty much stuck there,
Mhm.
and
The,
faced with the, some things we have to still look at, so I'm really not ready to talk about those tonight, other than to say, we know that the person that lives there doesn't want to give an easement, doesn't even want a sidewalk there, so we need to look at some other options to try to mitigate or minimize impacts to that property.
We're gonna put a tunnel.
We talked about
A bridge.
putting it on the right side of the
There
street.
was-
That's
Yeah,
one
but there
of the
were
laws we
reasons
need
why
to-
that was even more problematic, as I remember it.
Yeah, there was something
Putting it
with
on the
right
other
of
side of the
ways.
street.
Yeah.
there was also like a really beautiful big
And there was
pine
some
there.
gorgeous
Yeah.
pines
Yeah.
there that we would go right through.
One potential option is to keep it on that side, but keep it in front of the wall and move the poles to the inside of the wall,
That's right.
which would potentially
sounds
work.
doable.
It would be a narrow section of sidewalk because there's only about barely 5 feet between the wall and the edge of the road. But that way would be, and we'd have to get easement for the poles, and probably the overhead wires as well, from that same person.
And how many poles would have to be moved?
These 2 poles,
That's
and there's
not too
expense
bad.
associated with that, of course.
Right, right, okay.
How much does it cost if you just do the easement on the inside of the wall of the property? I mean, do we have any idea what the cost is for that?
For just putting
Just,
the,
just to do an appraisal and
Just do the,
land
do
taking.
the- how, just do the taking. I mean,
yeah, I think the concern here is that this particular individual is very concerned about it, and even though the Board of Selectmen have the ability to take land by eminent domain, if it's an adverse situation, I don't think the Board of Selectmen are gonna be thrilled about it.
They probably want to look at other options, which is what
Right,
we're doing.
so, which is why we need to look at other options.
I think she actually just wants the money.
Well, I can't envision that it's a huge amount of money, but that's, you know, that's not for me to decide. So,
So the last thing I wanted to see if we could do is to begin discussing, maybe after the next site walk, the remainder of Brown Street, because I know we didn't do that site walk yet, or
Yeah.
any of Winter Street, so.
so it's gonna be a little warmer, obviously.
Yes.
Yes.
You don't wanna do it tomorrow morning?
No, no. So,
It's gonna have to be April.
well, they wanna be in construction
No,
in
we
the
wanna be
summer.
building before the.
Y'all have fun then.
So, I don't know how we do
Do we
this.
look at the weather report?
Yeah, let's
Maybe-
look at the weather report, and, we pick a Tuesday morning for 45 minutes and walk the rest, or do people wanna just go from the intersection of Winter to South Avenue and just check it out themselves?
Or do we do it on a Saturday morning again?
Or we could do it on a Saturday
Why didn't we do it on Saturday morning?
Because it took a long time.
Right.
But the actual, to go from
Yeah.
Winter and Brown to Route 30, there's really not much.
Well,
It's
yeah.
up, there's really nothing much to look at. It's pretty much open and simple. So it's not, that would not take much time at all. I mean,
Yeah, the
You can always
stretch-
do it by looking at your video, there's not much to see.
Yeah, I mean, the stretch from South Ave to Winter Street is pretty simple. There's,
Mhm.
it's staked out, there's not any ambiguity or issue in that stretch of sidewalk.
I mean,
Because-
Steve, don't you have the video? I mean, would you maybe just show the
Well, I
video?
mean, I have.
We're gonna have to go there, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Why don't we just schedule it for a Tuesday morning, and if the weather's really bad, then we reschedule it.
Okay, okay. So we have meetings, okay. So I'll try to schedule it for one of the next Tuesdays.
Okay.
I
But
mean,
where
we have-
that's the only thing that Tuesday
Yeah,
morning.
yeah,
Mhm.
okay. All right.
It's gotta be above
I think
30.
that's it.
All right, great.
Huh?
It has
And
to
it's
be
above
above
30?
30.
Okay.
And I'm not here from the 23rd to the 31st.
What if it's 29?
I'm not going.
I'm not here week of the 23rd.
Okay, it's not gonna be the next 2 Tuesdays, because we've
Because
March.
we've already got stuff scheduled for this. So it would probably be sometime in early February.
That's fine, I'll be back.
So it has to be above 30 degrees and it's on a Tuesday AM. Okay.
And not snowing.
Okay, and not snowing, okay. And so, we're gonna continue this to the second meeting in February, which is the 18th. Is that okay, Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
When do we continue this? to?
It's continued to February 18th at,
Would they be able to build a Panama Canal in less time than it's gonna take us to do this sidewalk?
Oh, God, I can't even believe it. What time exactly?
okay, so wait a minute, February, what is that, 18th?
Yep.
At,
Can't wait for the other one.
7:45,
7:45?
yeah.
Okay,
Don't work too hard, guys.
thanks, Peter.
Thanks for your,
Night.
your work.
Okay.
It's a